If I were to ask you, as a potential client and somebody considering a divorce or somebody involved in a divorce, if I were to ask you the following question, how might you respond? The question is, what is the number one highest valued and most important marital asset that you and your spouse are going to have to divide in your divorce? I expect the answer to be one of two things, but primarily, I anticipate your answer will be our house, our marital home. And that would be the correct answer in most cases. Your marital home is likely your largest asset, worth the most money out of anything that you have. 300, 400, 500,000 plus dollars. If that is the case, you are going to want to be absolutely sure, absolutely certain that you divide it properly. One way, even in uncontested cases, that may help crack the code, as it were, that may help you resolve all of your issues and put this issue to bed, proverbially speaking, is getting an appraisal on your house. An appraisal can be done by a broker, by a qualified real estate agent, or perhaps as somebody who is a real estate expert otherwise. The goal of an appraisal is for that agent or otherwise licensed or other professional, is for them to go visit your home, to run comparables based upon other houses in the area. What is recently sold? What are the differences in the houses through upgrades, swimming pools, new roofs, new air conditionings, larger pieces of land, maybe a more modern kitchen, additions to the house, these sorts of things, comparables. What has sold, what is on the market, what are the likely estimated sale prices of those other homes in the neighborhood. And that individual also go through your house to look for any upgrades that you and your spouse have made, any damage to the house. How old are the fixtures? How old is the roof? How old is your air conditioning? Is there a pool? Are there any other amenities that might distinguish your house from other houses? Their goal is to find out how much your house would be worth in the current marketplace. In my experience, this generally mirrors what is posted on Zillow. But I hesitate to use Zillow because Zillow has recently disclosed that it has purchased a substantial amount of real property. And in doing so, Zillow is now a seller of real property and a major real estate conglomerate. It controls information. If Zillow owns certain houses, and this is not an allegation, nor do I have proof, nor am I claiming it, but hypothetically speaking, what would stop an organization that has a massive website trusted by so many millions of people from inflating a price and overvaluing a price when that organization might also own real property that is being listed on that site? You will notice there are typically four major websites where real property values are estimated, not disclosed, but estimated. One is Zillow, which is generally number one in the searches and the most trusted for the most part. Another is Trulia. Another is Redfin. And then the original of them all, Realtor.com. And those four websites often have similar numbers, but not the same numbers. One way that you can help yourself, most likely, is by having a real estate appraiser come on in and balance everything surrounding your house. Balance everything they've seen from other houses, analyze the neighborhood, analyze market trends, and estimate what the house would be worth. That is no guarantee whether you use Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, Redfin, or anyone else. That is no guarantee of the ultimate sale or refinance price of your house. What it is a reasonable estimate based upon all of the available facts. And if you and your spouse are considering an uncontested divorce, for example, and you're down to the value of the house, one of you claims it's $400,000 and you're the party that would be paid if the house is refinanced, and the other party says it's only worth $350,000. Well, there's a substantial difference. An appraisal might reveal it's worth $325,000, in which case somebody's very unhappy. It might say $375,000 and provide that compromise for you. They also might agree with the maximum value alleged by the spouse that is to be paid. This is something of a risk. But nonetheless, if you're both hiring a neutral realtor, perhaps somebody who's not going to sell your home and has no interest in your home, to do this analysis, the cost is generally $400 to $600. Check with your local realtor and local appraiser rather. The cost is fairly minimal considering everything on the line. And if that person is being paid one time for one job and they're a neutral individual with no knowledge of either one of the spouses, other than the fact they're being hired, and they're paid equally by the spouses, then the risk is undertaken by both spouses. There's no inherent and fundamental unfairness that is detectable. And that makes this not a risky proposition, but a problem solving proposition. If you're involved in a contested case and you go to mediation and there's a dispute as to the value of the home, if that dispute is over a $10,000 difference, which sounds like a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, the four, five, $600,000 house, it's just a small portion, just a small percentage. But if your house is worth, let's say, a condominium worth $180,000, somebody says 150 and somebody says 180, an appraisal probably should be done. If the difference is a chasm of the Grand Canyon, the divide is so great, then having an appraisal done is probably in everyone's best interest, and it may be the smartest way to go ahead and resolve your case as pertains to that issue. Thank you, as always, everyone, for listening. I hope that this episode has been informational and educational for you. Nothing that I have said here is legal advice, but for the Divorce and Family Law podcast, my goal is to educate so many of you as best I can, to give you a sense of what family law is, what it involves, the issues that you may encounter, and I hope that you've learned. Thank you so much.